people come first. They have the courage where we fail. If I could just shine a light on as they carry us through the gale. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Freedom cannot rest. I'm a woman who speaks in a voice, and I must be heard. At times I can be quite difficult. I'll bow to no man's word. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom, we cannot rest. We cannot rest. We who believe in freedom, we cannot rest. We cannot rest. We who believe in freedom, we cannot rest. We cannot rest. We who believe in freedom, we cannot rest. We cannot rest. We who believe in freedom, cannot rest. We will not rest. We who believe in freedom, we cannot rest. We will not rest. We who believe in freedom, we will not rest. We will not rest. We who believe in freedom, we cannot rest. We will not rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Freedom cannot rest. No. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Well, I went down to the governor's house and I took back what he stole from me. Took it back. Took it back. Well, I went down to the governor's house and I took back what he stole from me. Took it back. Took it back. Took back my body. Now he's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't gonna let the system walk all over me. Went to the state house and I went down to the state house and I took back what he stole from me. Took it back. Sing with us. Took it back. Took back my body and I went down to the state
Let's give it up one more time. All right, beautiful people. Look at how beautiful we all are. Let's give it up for ourselves. Thank you so much for being here. And a huge thanks to the chorus, to the Resistant Revival Chorus for starting us off. My name is Leanne Risk, and I am the Associate Director of Community Organizing for Planned Parenthood of New York City.
And I'm Acacia, the VP of External Affairs for Planned Parenthood Hudson-Peconic. And we're your MCs.
Woo! Okay, so I just want to really, Acacia, let's shout out some of these amazing signs that we have out here today. Oh my gosh. I know I saw one that I love. Could you turn it forward, miss? What does it say? It says, my body, my choice, this pussy votes. Yes? Okay. We love that. We love that. Where else? We saw, I can't believe we're still protesting this shit. Hashtag, are you okay? Okay. Hashtag what? My body, my choice. Yes. And then I saw one with the grandmas. I can't really say. Grandmas for choice. Yes, I love grandmas. Don't we love grandmas? Anyway, you guys all look beautiful, okay? So whenever we come up on stage, the prompt is beautiful people, and then you will answer by saying, stop the bands, okay? All right, so let's try that. Beautiful people. Stop the bands. Beautiful people. Stop the bands. That's right, okay. So today is the National Stop the Bands, hashtag Stop the Bands Day of Action. We're all here today because nationwide, from Alabama to Ohio, extremist politicians are trying to ban safe, legal abortions and getting closer than they ever have before. So today, nationwide in all 50 states, activists are on the ground at rallies like we are for a massive show of strength to make it clear that we will not stand for this, not stand for the bans, not now, not ever, no way.
But we don't do any of this work alone. Turn around and look at all of you.
Woo!
We're all doing this together. So we want to thank some of our friends and allies for the amazing work that they're doing in behalf of us as well. So thank you to the National Institute of Reproductive Health, the New York Immigration Coalition, the New York Civil Liberties Union, Girls for Gender Equity. Oh, I love this one. Lady Parks Justice League. Now NYC. New York City for Abortion Rights. And of course, all of our sister New York Planned Parenthood affiliates. So here's the thing. All people deserve access to all of their health care options. And that includes abortion. Because abortion is health care. So are you ready for some chants to make sure it's clear that New York City will not stand by while abortion access is under attack?
Yes! Beautiful people! Beautiful people! Don't forget now, let's go. Okay, so, first chant. Show us what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show us what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. Show us what democracy looks like. All right. Okay. So now we're going to move on with the program and bring up our first speaker. So I am thrilled to introduce our first speaker, our fearless leader, President and CEO of Planned Parenthood of New York City, Laura McQuaid. Woo!
emergency rally on 3 days' notice, you call a reproductive rights advocate and activist. That's how this happens. A huge shout out to my team at Planned Parenthood, to the National Institute of Reproductive Health, to New York Civil Liberties Union, to so many legislators that are here today. This is what democracy looks like. So thank you all for being here. I am so proud to stand up here today as we say to delusional and dangerous politicians, stop the abortion bans. We're not facing anti-abortion laws across this country. We are facing a sick attempt to strip us of our fundamental humanity and our individual autonomy. Don't believe anything less. They are coming for your fundamental human rights. Missouri, Alabama, Georgia, they passed some of the most dangerous and egregious legislation that we have ever seen passed in this country in our lifetimes, and it isn't a coincidence. This is a coordinated attack in order to drive care underground, but also to force a national showdown in our Supreme Court about access to our constitutional and human rights. And it's not just an attack on women, it's an attack on anyone who can or might get pregnant, including transgender men and gender non-conforming people. I did an interview before coming up here, and I got asked questions because the media has no choice but to ask questions about the fundamental lies that are being told to them by politicians and members of religious communities that are here to do one thing, and that is to manipulate Americans about abortion. So let me tell you just a couple facts. Fact, 73% of Americans say they do not want to see Roe v. Wade overturned. Fact, nearly 1 in 4 women in this country will have an abortion in her lifetime. And fact, not one male politician who voted for these egregious abortion restrictions is a healthcare provider. These politicians aren't lawmakers, they are law breakers. And they are trying to dismantle our fundamental rights and a legal right that we have had for nearly 5 decades. So we are here today in solidarity with reproductive freedom fighters across 50 states. We won't stand for this blatant injustice in our communities across the country and our own reproductive independence. And we won't stop here. I just want to remind everybody, abortion is the law of this land. It is legal today, it will be legal tomorrow, and it will be legal as long as organizations like Planned Parenthood and ACLU and National Institute of Reproductive Health and so many other organizations exist. I like to say to people, Planned Parenthood has been here for 103 years. What about you? Abortion is health care, and we have to stop the bans that are happening across the country. We are working with so many champions right here in New York City, some of whom I've already named. I want to thank Mayor de Blasio and First Lady Chirlane McCray for showing their support today. And I want to thank the patient advocates and activists, only some of whom you've seen so far. I want to deliver a message. Our great friend and supporter, Attorney General Tish James, couldn't be here today because she's doing important work to protect the rights of patients in this country. Today, the New York Attorney General's office announced it's suing the Trump-Pence administration for failing to protect patients from discrimination. That's the way New York rolls. Tish, you are here with us in spirit, and we thank you. I now have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker, Comptroller Scott Stringer. Scott has been an incredible ally and advocate for our movement and our rights for years, and recently led an audit of what I like to call fake clinics to ensure that New Yorkers are told the truth about accessing sexual and reproductive health care in their city. So with that, Controller Stringer, I welcome you to the podium.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Give Laura a big round of applause. I just want to say a couple of things. First, all elections are about choice. And we're going to have our turn very soon. But until that day comes, 30 bans cannot stand, and it's unacceptable. And in New York, we are proud to say that abortion is health care and abortion is a fundamental right. And we need to put our money where our mouth is. There's more that government can do. And that is why, working with so many of these great healthcare providers, we believe it is time for New York City to become the first city in the nation to directly fund abortion care and guarantee abortion access to New Yorkers, regardless of cost. We must be the first. Let's put money in the city budget this year to fund the New York Abortion Access Fund. Let's make it clear that we're putting our money where our mouth is, where we need to do the most good. So when they start to take away our rights, we're going to double down in New York City. So proud to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Beautiful people! Beautiful people! Okay, just checking. Okay, so our next speaker has always been a big champion for LGBTQ rights, youth rights, gender injustices, and the founder of New York City Mental Health First Aid Initiative and Thrive NYC. Please welcome the First Lady of New York City, Miss Charlene McCray. Beautiful people. So as she makes her way up, we're going to chant, okay? All right, so let's go to, hey, hey, ho, ho, patriarchy must go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, sexism must go. Sexism must go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, racism must go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, classism must go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump must go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump must go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, abortion bans 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 must go. Excellent. So we're going to have Laura come up again and speak to you beautiful people.
Thank you. To introduce our next speaker, Gloria Allred has been a fierce supporter and defender of reproductive health and rights for more than 43 years. And today, she will share with you why, on a personal level, we stand in this moment where we must do all that we can to stop the abortion bans. Please give it up for Gloria Allred.
Resist, insist, persist, and elect pro-choice women. I am here today in New York as living evidence of what happens when abortion is criminalized. And I would like to share that with you. because in the 60s, when I was in my 20s, I went to Mexico. I went out on a date with a doctor, and I ended up getting raped at gunpoint. When I returned to the United States, I found that I was pregnant, and I also, although I was not a lawyer, I heard from other people that it was a crime for doctors to perform an abortion in many states. As a result, I had to get a back alley abortion in a bathtub, and the person who performed it, who was not a licensed healthcare provider but just did it for the money, left me hemorrhaging in the bathtub and told me that's my problem now. The only time a hospital would admit a woman like me was if she was bleeding to death from an abortion. So I was taken to the hospital, and I was in a ward where there are other women as well suffering from illegal abortions. At that point, I had 106-degree fever, I was packed in ice, and the nurse said to me, "This should teach you a lesson." Well, the lesson I did learn is that abortion should be safe, legal, affordable, and available. So people talk about, well, it's only doctors that are committing a crime if they commit an abortion, 99 years in prison in Alabama if a doctor is convicted of performing an abortion. But the truth is, the victims are the women and the girls who have to get a back alley abortion and who are going to be left to die. It was our women's Vietnam. More women died or were maimed before Roe v. Wade by illegal abortions than men ever died in Vietnam. We thank our brave men for their sacrifices. We can never thank them enough. But we also were hurt by these laws which forced us into no-win situations. And we have to recognize that we will never allow abortions to be criminalized again. Do you agree? And I want to hear resist, insist, persist, and elect pro-choice women to the legislatures. Roe v. Wade is there to protect women. Are you going to protect your daughters? Are you going to protect your sisters? Are you going to protect your mothers who may need an abortion? Are you going to protect yourselves and your futures? You must protect Roe v. Wade. You must get out in the streets, outside the courthouses, outside the legislatures. Most of these governors who are signing bills into law will never have to have an abortion. They are sacrificing your life. Not every religion believes that abortion should be a crime. It should be legal, and not just in cases of rape, not just in cases of incest, but it's a woman's choice, and no elected official has a right to make that choice for us. Do you agree? So let's hear it. Resist, insist, persist, elect pro-choice women, and yes, elect pro-choice men as well. Fight for your rights. No one ever gave women our rights. No one ever gave us the right to vote. We have always had to fight for it, and this is the time we are going to wage the fight of our lives now. Give yourself a round of applause for standing up for choice. We love you, we need you, and we'll be there for you and with you. Thank you.